This is Geometry Lesson 3.5, Slope. So slope is used to describe the steepness of a line. I'm going to show you two different ways to do it. One way when you're given a graph, and then another way when you're given a set of ordered pairs. So using a graph, usually we think of slope as rise over run. Rise being the amount of vertical change we have, and run being how much horizontal change we have. So given a graph, I can draw what I call a slope triangle and count how many units of rise there is. In this case there's 1, and how many units of run there is. And in this case there are 4. And then I would just divide the rise and the run, and that would give me the slope. One thing I do need to point out is in this slope triangle I'm going down 1, so that would be a -1, and then I'm going in the positive direction 4, so I'll leave that positive 4. So the slope in this case would be -1 over 4, and I can leave that as a fraction or change it to a decimal, and I would just divide -1 divided by 4, and I get -0.25. So in this image, if I do my rise and my run, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 positive units of change, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 horizontal units of change. So let's see if I can do this. That would be 4 over 6, which equals 0.66, 6 repeating. And on the last one, the first two gave me dots, and I chose to start from one dot and go to the next dot. But the dots aren't always on there, but you can kind of choose wherever you want to put them. I'm going to put one right here, and I'm looking for a point on the line that gives me integer or whole number coordinates. So I wouldn't want to pick something random. I want to pick one right on the coordinates so I can count them pretty easy. So I'll go 1 there, and I'll go 1 here. So that is down 3 over 1. -3, +1. So -3 over 1, and that is -3 for my slope. The second slope calculation method is going to deal with coordinate points. So if you had enough graph paper, you could just graph these points. Like I could go over 1 up 7, I could go over 6 up 4, I could draw the diagonal line, I could count out the rise, count out the run. But if I don't want to go through all that graphing, I can use a formula instead. So given two coordinates, x1 and y1, and x2, y2, the formula for slope is y2 minus y1 in the numerator. Basically that gives me my rise, and then my run is going to be x2 minus x1 in the denominator, and that gives me my run. So I think I can do this. There we go. y2 minus y1 on top, x2 minus x1 on the bottom. So down here, I'm going to start by labeling these points. This is x1 and y1. And over here I have x2 and y2. When the points are labeled, then I can really easily put them into the formula. I need y2 first, minus y1 second, and on the bottom I have x2 first, x1 next. And so I can over here say that that is -3, and this is 5, and -3 divided by 5 gives me my answer of -0.6. And I can do the same thing on my next example. I have x1 and y1. And x2 and y2, and then I can put those values into the formula. Y2 minus y1, and then x2 minus x1. On the numerator, that is 12. On the denominator, that is negative 19. And 12 divided by negative 19, I have negative 0.6316. If I round it, I can just round it to negative 0.6. And that is it. Good luck on the exercises, and please ask if you have any questions.